everyone, and welcome back to Decisive Squirrel Homestead. Anytime you're planting a garden, people are always interested in what you're growing for tomatoes. It seems like that's the first thing everybody plants in a garden. So today we are going to do a in-depth tour of the tomato plants. So come along. Our first plants that we have here are big red tomatoes. These are big slicing tomatoes. These plants are not taking off quite as well as the others that we have. I'm not sure why that is, if they just don't do very well here or the weather's just not great for them yet. They have started to set fruit, just not quite as fast as the other plants that we have. You can see there's one with some good tomatoes getting started on it. You'll also notice through here that we have marigolds interspersed in here. That is to hopefully help with pest issues. We'll see how that goes. But all of these guys are looking just a little bit scrawny. I think they're going to be okay. It's just going to take some time. We get down to our Roma plants. These are doing really well. These are only determinate tomatoes, which means they don't get pruned like the other tomatoes do. We can talk about all that in another video. These are all setting fruit. They're doing really good. Some of them got a little banged up in the hailstorm, but they're recovering well. This one has a lot of tomatoes going on it. We'll have lots of aromas off of this plant soon. This one has a nice big bunch of aromas back in there. Those are doing really good too. After 11 Roma plants, we get into the Cherokee purples. There's only 3 Cherokee purples on this row. They are the first ones that set fruit. They have some nice big tomatoes on them. Some of the tomatoes got knocked off in the big hailstorm that we had. But for the most part, they're doing really good. We should get those pretty soon. They're a nice heirloom tomato. On our second row, we start out with 9 more Cherokee purples. You can see they're really growing well. They have a lot of tomatoes on them. We're just waiting for them to ripen up. After the Cherokee purples, we get into the San Marzanos, and there are 22 San Marzano plants on this row. They're also doing really well and have started to set fruit. You can see some way back in there, hopefully. They're hiding under the leaves, which is okay. This one has a sucker that needs to come off. And you may notice that outside of the bed between these tomato plants, there are these stalks here. This is garlic. I was hoping this would help a little bit with pest control. Don't know if it will or not, but it's not going to hurt anything. So there's garlic in between all the tomato plants. We start the third row with 5 more San Marzano plants. They're also doing well, putting out tomatoes. And then we have 6 more Roma plants after those. after the Romas, we get into white tomasil tomatoes. These were freebies that came with some seeds that I ordered from Baker Creek. So I've never had them before. It is a white tomato. So it's ripe, tastes like a tomato, but it's totally white. Kind of cool. And then after that, I have a blue tomato. This is one I offered a friend some of those white tomato seedlings, and in exchange she offered me blue tomato seedlings. So maybe for 4th of July we can have a whole red, white, and blue tomato salad. Row 4 starts with more Cherokee purples. There are 4 Cherokee purple plants here. Then we have a break for a marigold, and then we get into our cherry tomatoes. I have 2 Gardener's Delight. I have, oh, those have set fruit. I didn't know that. There's some tomatoes on those. After the Gardener's Delight, there are 2 yellow pear tomatoes. Those have set fruit back there. 1, 2, that's got a bunch on it also. And then after that, there are 2 Sweet 100 cherry tomatoes. You can see those back there. They're a little bit more spaced out. Let me get back to a few more of those white tomasil. I believe there are 4 of them here. I don't think these have set fruit yet. They went in the ground a little bit later than the other ones, so they're just a little bit behind. And then another of those blue tomatoes from my friend. Those went in last, that's why they're so small. And that is all of our tomatoes.